Welcome. Today we're working on a puff quilt. This is what I have so far. The material I'm using is owl feathers. You can kind of see if you look in there, they're feathers. I have 5 different prints. The first one is just black and white. The second one is, it looks like it's the same, but it's not. It's black and white, but it's got a little bit of color in it. And then the third is this orange color. It's got mostly oranges in it. And then the fourth color is a gray, mostly gray with a little bit of blue. And the fifth color is the blue. So I've been alternating. You can see the pattern. I do the pattern and then just keep doing the pattern. So this is what I have so far. This one is it's about the size for a throw. It's not really big enough. So I'm gonna add to it. So I thought I'd take you along for what I thought I was going to be done with this, but I'm not. So I had already gotten it together. I've already put the batting in the middle, and I have it pinned so I could go ahead and sew it. And then my plan was to put this black ribbon around the edges. This is my plan. However, I'm going to make it bigger because it's just not big enough. I'm going to double it. So what I have here, the fabric, like I said, is 5 different fabrics. I got them from Spoonflower, and you can go on there. You want this pattern. It's $20 a yard, so it's not a cheap fabric, but it's quality fabric. So I just wanted you to be aware of that up front. And so what I have here is 5 yards of the fabric. So what you do to make the puffs, let me take you over here to my sewing machine. Okay, so I have some of the puffs ready here. So you're gonna take what you do, sorry about that. So you'll have your outside fabric. You're going to cut that an inch bigger than your bottom fabric. So the bottom fabric, I kind of cheated and I just bought these pre-cut, and they're 4-inch cut fabric on Amazon. Just a muslin, just plain. It doesn't matter what color this part is, the bottom. It doesn't matter what color that is. So the top is what matters. And so what I have done is I've cut them all, cut all the fabric up to 5-inch squares, and then I have pinned it all. I didn't bring my phone holder, so what I did is I have them all pinned. As you can see, you just lined up the two ends, and then whatever is extra, you just fold it over, and then you pin that. And so what you do is you can do this a couple of ways, and I'll tell you the easiest way because I've done it both ways, and I'll tell you which ways won't make you say bad words. The easiest way is to go and sew all the way around. So all the way around. And then after you get everything sewed, all the rows sewed together and everything, then you go and you'll clip a little, you'll snip a little bit at the back, and you'll stuff it, and then you can seal it up. I've tried it the other way, where you go and you stuff each one of these, and then you try to, you know, quilt them together. It's a lot harder. So if you try it the first way, you'll thank me, because you won't be trying to get so much through your sewing machine. You might have a nicer one than I do. I just have it's pretty basic. It's a Brother, foot controlled. There's a lot of little different stitches, but for this right now, I'm just using the basic, just a straight stitch. I am going through a lot of bobbins, so I have these pre-filled bobbins you can get. It doesn't matter the you know, the bottom color doesn't really matter. So I mean, if you have your own, you have a bobbin winder, which I do, but I'm finding I'm going through a lot of bobbins. So, and I'm just using basic thread, nothing fancy, just basic thread, and I'm sewing them. And then after I get all these sewed, so I went through and I put all of these together, so then I can chain sew. I can go through and I can chain all these. See, this is the gray. It is so pretty. And here is the orange. It's an orangish color. But it's the feathers. I love the feathers. And it just looks so good together. You can already see it looks so good together. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these sewn together, and then I'm going to show you the next step. So your first step is to get them all in this to this. The first step is to cut them all into 5-inch. You have to decide what size you want your puff. If I would have started again from the beginning, I would have made this puff bigger than 5-inch, because you can see, I mean, it's not that big. The puffs they're not that big, but you can make them, be bigger, like an inch bigger would probably make a big difference. It's up to you, however big you want. I don't think I'll ever do this smaller size again, because it's just a lot. And I wish I would have done it bigger so you could see the feathers more in the print. But anyway, we're already at this point. So I'll come back and show you the next step, okay? So we have a lot of endless chain stitching. Just stitching I stitched one side, and now I'm going through and doing the other side. I'm gonna do all 4. I forgot to say that I am using a 1/4-inch seam allowance on all these, so to get the most out of it. Got a little walk. That's what I'm doing. I'm just sewing all of them, and then coming back, sewing the other side. And then I'll do the same for the other 2 sides. I'll sew them in a chain. I take the pins out. Some sewing machines can handle it, but I just I take the pins out because I don't want to bother with breaking the needle. My sewing machine is not the best, so I'm trying to deal with it. That's all I'm doing, sewing these. Sides together. I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so I am done putting together all of these little squares. I've sewn them all the way around, all 5 So here's the white, just a plain white, black and white. And here's the one that's similar to it, but you can see that it has a little bit of color. So and then here is the orange and the gray, and here is the blue. So right now I measured it, and well, not measured it, but counted. I have 15 across and 17 down. So what I want to do is square it up to be, 17 across and 17 down. So what I'm going to do is just continue with the pattern. And like right here, you can see the pattern. I do the white, the mixed white, the orange, the gray, and the blue. And then I do that. Each row has 5 sets in it. So that's 15 of them. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 2 more of those. And then I'm going to decide how big I want the finished product and how many it's going to take. So I'll bring you back. So all I'll do when I get these ready, and this is the easier way to do it, not stuffed, when they're not stuffed, to put these together. And I'll show you how I'll go about stuffing them and everything. So all I do is attach these 2 together, and then attach the next one to it until it's a long string. I do so it's 15 of them. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and show you my progress. Okay. All right. Okay, I finally got the stuffed side of the blanket and the unstuffed side over here together, and I'm pretty happy with it. Right now is 23 of the squares by 22 squares. I might add another row or so, but I wanted to show you. I went ahead and took it apart. I showed you before that I had put some of it together in the bag, but I took it apart so I can show you how I did the back. Probably should have put my phone on a stand, but so you can see the parts over here were where I started, and I stuffed them and sewed them, stuffed each square and then sewed them. And then I got a little smarter over here, and I was like, this is gonna take so much strength to try to get all this through the sewing machine. So over here I started cutting the back. I sewed the square all together, and then I cut the back, stuffed the back. Then I used the sealing heat and bond. I just cut little pieces of heat and bond and put it over the hole and just sealed it. You could go through and you could sew each one if you want, but I felt that was just easier to just clip it and stuff it and do the heat and bond real easily. So now I have the rest of it to do, but it shouldn't be too bad. So I'm just gonna go through, and you cut the top layer. You just grab one. Let me just put this down here for a second. I'll show you if I can. So you just want to grab one, and just the top layer, the backing layer, and then just with a pair of scissors you can cut it. You just want to make sure you just get the top layer of it. You don't want to go through and cut the surface square. So just cut about that much. And and then get your batting and just fill it, your polyfill. So I'll go through it and I'll do all those, and then I'll come back and show you how simple it is to put on the heat and bond, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I'm back to show you just real quick. All I do is I got this big bag of polyfill, and I just grab a handful and I just go into one of the holes and just stuff it in the hole. Simple as that. And then I just keep going until I get them all done. Okay, so this is the part where I'm going to show you how I sealed up the backs. So I just took some bond and seal, cut it up, little squares, and then I had this cute little iron, little miniature iron, and got it heated up, and I put the textured side down on the fabric, and then I just go over it with this, make sure it's hot enough, real gently, just easy. It seals it right on there. Just go over all the edges. And it's so much faster than sewing it on. And then after it cools off a little bit, you can pull the paper off. I mean, I could have just used the whole roll and just did this over the whole back of the whole quilt. But that wouldn't have been as fun because I didn't get to use this little tool, this cute little iron tool. Had to use the big old ugly bulky iron. I'm just kidding. No, this is it's better because can make sure that that part is sealed. If you would have did it with the big iron, oops, I accidentally turned it off. It might not have sealed exactly where you needed it to seal. So I'll just take the extra time to do this because I wasn't even showing you what I was doing. Just because I'm spending so much money and time on a quilt, you might as well make sure it's sealed properly. And if you missed it at the beginning, why I did it this way, it's much easier to sew the rows when it's not stuffed already. So it's much easier this way to stuff it after the fact and just seal it like this. If you want to, you could go and you could sew each one, but I'd rather not do that. I'd rather not have to hand sew each one because it's a lot of work. A lot of extra work that you don't need to do. But anyway, you get the drift. That's what you do. And let me just put this little tool down for a second. So after it's cooled to the touch, you just come back and you pull up the side. Pull up one side. Get one that's good. Do this one. This one's good. So you just peel it up, paper comes off, And the hole is sealed. You can't, nothing will fall out. Of course, this quilt's going to have backing and everything. That piece came off a little bit, but it's still sealed. It's sealed good. So there you go. That's just a quick tip if you do it this way. And I'll come back when I'm on the next step. Okay, I'm back doing the next step. The next step is, of course, putting the back on. In this case, you can put in the batting and then put on the backing. I forgo the batting because this is already so thick you don't need any kind of batting. I am using this king sheet. I was gonna make it all gray, but I found this king sheet that is very similar to the colors on the front, so I'm using that. And I've already started. You can see I went through and I pinned it all, so the back and the front are pinned to each other, and just with some big safety pins. And then I don't know if it'll can zoom in good, but then I started just sewing. What I do is I am quilting it all the way by hand, down the rows. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do how many rows I'm gonna do. I might do every single one, and then I might go across. I'll wait and see how it looks. So all you doing is stitching back and forth, back and forth. That's all you do. And then when I'm done with that, then I'll come back and show you when I'm finished with that. And then I got all the black ribbon right there is going to be the trim that goes around, and it looks really good. I kind of tested it out. It looks really good with the colors on the front and the back. Okay. If you have any questions, just put a comment and I'll try to help you. I am trying some different techniques for this larger quilt, so I hope you can get something out of it. All right, talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I have finally finished putting the back on. You can't really tell from the front. It doesn't look much different from the front. Let me show you the back. It's pretty big, so it's taking me a minute to get this here. All right, so here's the back. You can see it. I have gone, I've quilted down multiple places, and then there's the illusion that I've quilted this way because of the stripes on the actual fabric, but I haven't yet. I have already gone all the way around the edges and sewed all those down, and I've trimmed the edges. So excuse me. So my next thing is get a phone camera thing. I'm sitting here holding it while I'm trying to do this, but anyway, so what I have done is I've gone around and trimmed the edging all the way around, and it just leaves me this little bit here. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on this black trim that I got. Gosh, stuck. Oh man, she broke my cup. Darn it. Alright, Let me find the end so I can show you. So this is the what I'm going to use around the edging. This black trim is going to go all around the edging. And I'm just going to hand sew it on because there's some places that the puff is not enough for me to get in there good with the sewing machine. So I'll come back and show you when I get done. Thanks. Okay, I am finally finished with the quilt. I put on the black trim, and I think it looks really good. Black trim all the way around. So you can see the pattern pretty good. Thank you for watching, and I'll come back for more. Thanks.